Healing silence. How pause aligns. Body, mind, and bonding. Have you ever tried to shut down a conflict only for it to explode later, even bigger? We live in a rush. Our mind races, our speech overwhelms our breath, and our body can't keep up. The result is noise. Noise in relationships, noise in decisions, noise in our chest. The truth is, rushing is constantly sabotaging our ability to be truly present. But what if I told you there's a simple gesture, which fits in the palm of your hand and in 90 seconds, is capable of reconnecting your body, your mind, and restoring the quality of your bonds? The pause is not an absence, nor an escape. It is a change of conscious state. It's time to let the dust settle before sweeping the floor, so you can see where you stand and what really needs to be said. In this series, we'll transform silence from a passive act into a healing and clarity tool. I will guide you through 3 practical break formats: physiological, attentional, and relational, teaching the 90-second map that changes the chemistry of the encounter. Stop reacting automatically. It's time to breathe before responding and bring yourself back home. Stay with me, because in a few minutes you'll discover how silence can be your most powerful compass. The simple gesture that brings home from the inside. If the mind runs and the body doesn't keep up, noise is created. If speech comes before breath, truth stumbles. If the bond demands presence and receives haste, it becomes more harmonious. There is a small gesture that rearranges everything in minutes. His name is break, and fits in the palm of your hand. The pause is not absence. It is a change in conscious state. It opens space between impulse and possible choice. Take the steering wheel out of the automatic and give it back to the adult. It allows the body to speak before the ancient narrative, and it lends time for the phrase that cares to be born. To be silent is not to silence feelings or deny conflict. It's about clearing the dust before sweeping, to see the floor. It is to close the tap before repairing the pipe. It is aligning breath to align intention. Only then does the conversation find air to exist. When silence sets in, the body changes gears. The jaw relaxes, and the chest regains its width. The eyes soften, the hearing gains depth. Memory becomes less defensive and more accurate, and the decision is cleaner, shorter, and more practical. In this series, we will practice silence as a tool. 3 pause formats, 3 application rhythms, bridging phrases that protect the pause in the conversation, minimal rituals for before, during, and after, so that the silence cure and don't just interrupt. The map of silence, 3 layers: physiology, attention, bonding. First layer, physiology. The body regulates the fire. Low, long breathing signals safety to the system. Feet on the ground, tongue loose, shoulders a tone down. 30 seconds already changes the chemistry of the encounter. Without this, reason dispute with internal sirens. Second layer, attention. Focus that describes, not condemns. Name sensations. Heat in the chest, cold hands, rush. Notice sounds, lights, textures, the now that sustains. Exchange opinions for simple, verifiable, and live data. The mind stops fighting when it has a place to land. Third layer, bond. Silence as a gesture of care. A shared break avoids unnecessary escalation. A minute to think and listen to you better opens a bridge. The other breathes together, regulates by immediate resonance. It is the interval that maintains the dignity of both. These layers work in 90-second cycles. A minute and a half is human time, not idealized time. It fits in a meeting, in an audio recording, in a tense kitchen. It's brief enough not to sound like punishment. It's long enough to change the mood of the room. Without a map, pause becomes escape. With a map, it becomes medicine. You don't disappear. You aligns to answer. Don't give up on dialogue. You prepares him to exist. Don't avoid pain. You reduces damage of the rush. Silence is a tool when it has form, time, and intention. Practice. 1. Guided physiological pause. The physiological pause is a handbrake for the nervous system. She gives the body priority before the mind speaks. Without this inversion, the conversation arises within an alarm. With it, you exchange sirens for ground and cadence. 90 seconds well spent can change the course of a meeting. Step 1. Anchor. Feet flat on the ground, tongue loose. Feel the weight distributing from your heel to your toes. Relax your jaw and drop your shoulders a tone down. Soft gaze, wide horizon, unhurried neck. The body understands. It's not a fight, it's a presence. Step 2. Breathe. 4 to 2, 6 for 3 conscious cycles. Inhale for 4, hold for 2, exhale for 6. On a long exhalation, the chest loosens from the inside. Count softly, as if cradling a heart. Notice the air gently touching your ribs and back. Step 3. Appoint. 3 sensations, without judgment. Heat in the chest, cold hands, dry mouth, for example. When naming, the mind puts down and lets go of the megaphone. You describe data instead of shouting theories. The body becomes a map, and the mind, a patient reader. Step 4. Microgesto. Water, short stretch, posture. A slow sip signals that time has slowed down. Stretch your fingers, neck, back, no show. Adjust the chair like you would tune an instrument. Dialogue deserves a tuned, not a heroic body. If this break has given you inches of space back inside, consider sticking around. So each new encounter comes as a gentle reminder to breathe before responding. The inscription becomes a discreet bell calling you back to the body that knows. We remain meek, choosing presence over haste, clarity over noise. When it makes sense, I'll be here with the next simple whole gesture. Practice 2. Attention pause. Describe before you define. The second pause exchanges labels for verifiable description. You suspend the verdict and deliver a photograph of the moment. This reduces defense and increases listening surface. The other ceases to be a thesis and becomes a phenomenon again, and dialogue gains a chance for adjustment instead of war. Short, repeatable 4-step protocol. Context: where, when, who was present. Action: concrete, countable, observable verbs. Effect: what happened in your body and focus. Question: small invitation to calibrate together. Practical example instead of hasty label. Change: you're rude to you interrupted 3 times in 2 minutes. Replace always late with arrived 15 minutes later the last 2. Replace disrespects me with used irony when I asked for help. Data opens the door, labels close it and turn off the light. The attention pause lives on time and tom. Say 1 idea per sentence with air between the lines. Look at the person, not the old judgment. Use a lower tone of voice to invite her adult. And breathe between periods like you're turning pages. Close with a testable combo and a short return. Shall we try speaking turns and review on Friday? I agree in writing and confirm at 10 a.m. Is that okay? No moralism, just coexistence engineering. Small, repeated clarity becomes great peace in time. Practice 3. Relational pause. Asking for space without hurting. Asking for a break without hurting is declaring care for the bond. You don't disappear. You signal where you are and when you'll be back. The sentence is born simple. Time, intention, scheduled return. I'll pause now to answer better at 5 p.m., okay? Silence becomes a bridge, not a punishment, nor a slammed door. The relational pause has 3 visible and human steps. 1. Recognize the other. I listen to you, and that matters. 2. Name the need. I need minutes to clear up. 3. Set the clock. I'll be back at 10 a.m. with a proposal. 3 steps are enough to keep confidence from slipping. Avoid long justifications that sound like abandonment. Avoid disappearing without a trace, which sounds like punishment. Avoid returning with a thesis when a minute would have sufficed. The effective range is short, clear, and breathable. He restores dignity to both, without spectacle. Pause request formats in different contexts. At work, I'll take a 20-minute break and give you options back. In the family, I need half an hour and I'll be right back to listen. In affection, I love conversation. I pause so as not to hurt in a hurry. On the web, no screen time for today, I'll reply tomorrow morning. After the break, thank and honor the agreed return. Bring data, not just feelings, to move the conversation along. Ask a question that invites the other person to adjust together. Close with the next small, time-testable step. Silence that heals ends in action that respects both. Pause rhythms, 10s, 90s, 24 hours. Pause 10s is the minimum break on heated conversations. A sip of water, a look out the window, a long exhalation. It serves to avoid responding from a place of immediate fright. You gain seconds for the word to land in its entirety. It is the short space where the impulse loosens the hand. A break in the 90s, complete cycle to regulate physiology. Foot anchor, 4, 2, 6, 3 times. Name sensations. Complement with micro gestures. Stretching, aligning posture. Exit the alarm and enter the room of the adult present. 90 seconds changes mood, tone, and listening. 24H break, containment for decisions with consequences. Use when high emotion meets structural themes. Schedule a follow-up. I'll get back to you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Sleep with a short diary of data and possibilities. Come back with a clear proposal or minimum next steps. How to choose a rhythm without guilt or procrastination. If the body trembles, 90s. If the topic is complex, 24H. If the conversation speeds up, 10 seconds. If it has exceeded limits, 24 hours. If there is an urgent agreement, 10s plus written record. The right rhythm is what protects the bond and the truth. Weekly integration into a simple, repeatable routine. 3 10s breaks per day at random times. 2 90s before conversations with potential friction. A 24-hour one for decisions that affect a lot of things. Silence becomes a habit, and the habit becomes a home in the chest. If these rhythms have given your day a sense of direction, consider sticking around. Thus, each new encounter comes as a gentle reminder to pause without running away. Being registered is like marking a gentle and reliable compass on your body. We continue to fine-tune the silence that heals, without haste, and with complete presence. When it makes sense, I'll come back with the next clear and actionable move. Applied silence. Meeting. Conflict and decision. In meeting, 10s of silence prevents impulsive responses. Soft gaze. Hand notes a point. Glass of water as an anchor. You take a breath, summarize what you understood, and only then propose. The room calms down a bit and the conversation finds its way. Less disruption, more verifiable delivery on time. In conflict, 90s trade defense for description. You pause your body, describe facts, ask a small question. If the temperature rises, propose a window and a clear channel. The break prevents pride from turning into a fire. Come back with data, not emotional ammunition. Already decision, 24-hour age prevents costly regret. Use when there is a financial, emotional, or reputational impact. Write down criteria, scenarios, and body signals on the way back. Compare versions, impulse, rest, and internal consensus. A good choice stays breathable for weeks afterward. Signs that the pace was well chosen at the meeting. The sentences shorten, the eyes meet without escape. The questions become more honest than performative. You access nuance, not just your script. And the agreement is born without needing a hero. If the other person rejects breaks, maintain your integrity. Repeat the request briefly. Provide an objective time and format. If they insist, hold back. Stop now. Resume later. Silence that cares is a limit, not a golden punishment. The dignity of both is worth more than the rush to end. When silence gets sick, escape, punishment, and ice leak. It looks like it was taken care of, but disappears without returning it. There is no set time, nor is there a proposal for return. The other is left in the dark, growing anxious. The relationship learns fear instead of trust. This does not cure, It only postpones it with interest. Punishment sees silence as a form of control, withdraws affection to bend another's will in secret, creates polite ice, minimal sentences, and half-open doors. The bond shrinks, asking for approval to exist. Respect is not born from silent blackmail, only from clarity. Chronic ice is a sign of a conversation that has been postponed for too long. Accumulations become long, windowless corridors. Those who speak fear an explosion. Those who remain silent suffer from shortness of breath. It is necessary to open a crack with description and question. Light and air return when someone risks honesty. Practical antidotes for every deviation from silence: counter-escape, time of return, explicit channel and purpose. Against punishment, name the dynamic and propose a fair rule. Against ice, short micro-agreements and bi-weekly reviews. Silence becomes a bridge when there is a commitment to return. Checklist to avoid mistakes during the next difficult break. Am I regulating my body or avoiding encounters? Is there a clear window for departure and return marked? Do I bring description, question, and measurable proposal? Does my tone match the respect I want to receive? If so, silence heals again where it hurt before. Minimal ritual of silence for the common day. Silence only becomes a habit when it fits into the real routine. Therefore, the ritual is short, portable, and unceremonious. It works in the elevator, in the queue, in the hallway at work. It's a way to change gears without anyone noticing. You return to your body and the conversation gets back on track. Block 1. To wake up. 90 seconds before the screen. Feet on the floor, hand on the abdomen, 3 cycles, 4 and 2, 6. Name 2 feelings and 1 simple wish for the day. Open the window, drink water, choose a short intention. Presence before haste is, for example, just feeling. Block 2. Between tasks, 10 seconds of sanitization. Stop at the door, drop your jaw, look away for a point. Let the air out longer than it came in just now. Confirm the purpose of the next conversation in 1 line. When you enter, take your body regulated and your sentence clean. Block 3. Before sleeping. Review without court. 3 scenes with well-used pauses, 2 to improve. A concrete gratitude, nothing abstract or performative. A request to the body. What do you want tomorrow? Write down a line. Silence also writes for you. Block 4. Emergency. Lightning containment protocol. Hand on heart, other on abdomen, eyes softened. 2 minutes away, return time set. A short description, a small question, a step. It's not much, it's possible, and it changes the design of the day. If this ritual gave you inches of air back between appointments, consider sticking around. Thus, each new encounter comes as a serene reminder to choose rhythm before speaking. The inscription becomes a discreet bell, reminding you of the body that knows how to return. We continue gently, fine-tuning pauses that heal without disappearing from the bond. When it makes sense, I'll come back with the next simple, actionable gesture. Final integration. The ethics of pause in body, mind, and bonding. The pause is not absence. It is active care with the meeting. In the body, it regulates. In the mind, it describes. In the bond, it dignifies. Without it, opinions shout louder than living data. With her, questions find a place and limits breathe. Silence is listening that gives shape to what is yet to be born. Weekly integration in 7 small, repeatable steps. Second, TENS pause before any difficult answer. Tuesday 90s to turn labels into observable description. Wednesday, a relational break with an agreed return time. Thursday to Sunday, review, adjust, give thanks, and rest. Indicators that silence has become a practice and not a pose. Shorter sentences, fewer excuses, more breathable agreements. Sleep that returns to live without nightly demands for promises. Discussions that go down in tone and up in precision. Body anticipating the not now before the fire. When you fail, and you will, treat yourself with tenderness. Repair the link with description. order and small step. Silence is not perfection. It is restart in miniature. It is the courage to pause to keep the human whole. The ethics are simple: less noise, more shared reality. Close your eyes for 3 breaths and ask your body, which break are you asking me for today? 10s, 90s, or 24'd? Open the agenda and give this answer an explicit place. The world will keep running, you will choose cadence, and the meeting will be grateful for being able to exist with air. If this silence has brought you back to home, consider continuing to walk together. Thus, each new video arrives as a serene invitation to deepen presence without noise. At the next meeting, we will open difficult conversations without war, how to talk about boundaries, money, and hurt. You'll see simple frameworks for transforming tension into actionable agreement. If it makes sense, stick around. We remain gentle, clear, and increasingly whole.